For this project, you will need yarn of your choice. I recommend a size 4 or lower, a crochet hook, use the recommended size for your yarn, measuring tape, scissors, and a sewing needle. We're going to start off with a slip knot, so grab the yarn and wrap it around 2 fingers. Grab your hook, insert it through the hole, bring the yarn through, and tighten it. Then you're going to chain 2, so yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. We're going to start the foundation half double crochet, so yarn over, go into the very first chain that you made, grab the yarn and bring it through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through the first loop only, you'll have 3 loops again, yarn over, go through the remaining 3 loops. And that is your first foundation half double crochet. For the second stitch, yarn over, go to the previous stitch at the bottom. When you go through it, you want to make sure that you went through both loops. Then bring the yarn through, you'll have 3 loops again, yarn over, go to the first loop only, you'll have 3 loops once again, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. That was your second stitch. For the third one, do the same thing, yarn over, go through the previous stitch at the bottom, grab the yarn and bring it through, you'll have 3 loops, yarn over, go to the first loop only, you'll have 3 loops again, yarn over, go through the remaining 3 loops. So for the foundation half double crochet, there's basically 3 steps that I always think of. So the first step would be to yarn over, go through the previous stitch. Second step would be to go through the first loop, so yarn over, go through the first loop. Last step is to go through the remaining 3 loops. So you're going to continue the exact same steps until you reach the measurement from the bottom of your breast to the center of your breast or to your nipple, whichever is applicable. Once you get to the measurement that you need, just go ahead and start a regular half double crochet. So yarn over, go into the previous stitch as you've been doing, bring the yarn through. You'll have 3 loops, and instead of going through just 1 loop, go through all 3 of them. So yarn over, go through all 3 of them immediately, and then chain 1. Then we're going to put into the same stitch we just came out of, we're going to put 2 more half double crochets. So yarn over, go into the same stitch you just came from, so down here, grab the yarn and bring it through. You'll have 3 loops, yarn over, go through all 3 loops, yarn over, go into the same stitch you just came from, grab the yarn and bring it through. You'll have 3 loops, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. So into this one stitch, you should have a total of 4 stitches, 2 from this side and 2 from that side. Once you're done, go ahead and do 1 half double crochet for the rest of the row per stitch. I'm going to go into this next stitch right here and do 1 half double crochet into that stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch, grab the yarn and bring it through. You'll have 3 loops, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. So again, into this next stitch right next to it, I'm going to do another half double crochet, yarn over, go into the stitch, bring it through. You'll have 3 loops, yarn over, go through all 3, yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring the yarn through. You'll have 3 loops, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. Continue for the rest of the row doing 1 half double crochet into each stitch that you see. And while you're doing that, you can grab the yarn and put it in the center. Grab this end of the yarn, put it through the center, so that way while you are crocheting, you are basically weaving it through at the same time. Yarn over, chain 1, and turn your work. And we're going to continue with doing 1/2 double crochet into each stitch that you have. So after we chain 1, we're going to do the 1/2 double crochet. So yarn over, go into the first stitch, grab the yarn and bring it through. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops.
Yarn over, go to the next stitch, bring the yarn through. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. Yarn over, go to the next stitch, bring the yarn through. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. Yarn over, go through the next stitch, bring the yarn through. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. You're just going to continue with the 1/2 double crochets until you get to the top of this row.
So when you're at the top of this row, remember the chain 1 that we did in the first row. We're going to go into the hole that's created up there. Don't go through this chain or any stitches, just go through the hole right here. So we're going to do 2 1/2 double crochets into this hole. So yarn over, go into the hole, bring the yarn through. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over, go through all 3, and then again yarn over, go through the hole again, grab the yarn, bring it through. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. When you're done with those 2 1/2 double crochets, chain 1. So yarn over and chain 1 and turn it this way. We're going to do 2 more 1/2 double crochets into the same hole. So yarn over, go into the hole, grab the yarn, bring it through. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. Yarn over, go through the same hole, bring the yarn through. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. And then once again, you're going to do 1 1/2 double crochet into every single stitch for the rest of the row. So yarn over, go into this stitch right here, the very first stitch closest to where you're at. Bring the yarn through. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over, go through all 3. And just continue with your 1/2 double crochets for the rest of the row.
I'm just going to cut this piece off for now since it's already weaved in for the sake of the video.
At the end of the row, chain 1, so yarn over, pull through, and then turn your work. Then you're going to repeat the exact same steps, so 1 1/2 double crochet into every single stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch, bring the yarn through, and go through all 3 loops.
Yarn over, go to this next stitch, bring the yarn through, and go through all 3 loops. Just continue with 1 1/2 double crochet per stitch until you get to the top.
And again, when you're at the top, the chain 1 from the previous row, you're going to go into the hole over there. So do 2 1/2 double crochets. So yarn over, go into the hole, grab the yarn and bring it through. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. Yarn over, go through the hole, bring it through. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. And then chain 1, so yarn over and pull through, turn. And then 2 more 1/2 double crochets. So yarn over, go through the hole, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. Yarn over, go through the hole one more time, and then go through all 3 loops. Then again, you're going to do 1 1/2 double crochet per stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch here, yarn through, yarn over, go through all 3 loops, go into the next stitch, and just continue with 1 1/2 double crochet per stitch until you get to the end of the row. At the end of the row again, you're just going to chain 1, so yarn over, pull through, turn your work, and then you're going to continue the exact same steps for the rest of the rows for the half double crochet rows until you reach this certain measurement. So you're going to take the measurement of the circumference of your breast and then subtract 3. So if the circumference of your breast is 7 inches, you're going to continue with the rows of half double crochets until this part right here reaches 4 inches. So take 7, subtract 3, and then do the 4 inches here. So for the measurements that I'm working with, the circumference of the breast is 8 inches. So I am crocheting the rows of half double crochet until I reach 5 inches. So that way the remaining rows I do this pattern, which is about 1.5 inches on each side, equaling 3 inches. When you get it to the length that you need, chain 1 and turn your work, and then place a half double crochet into the first stitch. So yarn over, go to the stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, go through all 3, and then chain 1, so yarn over and pull through. We're going to skip the next stitch and then go into the stitch right next to it. So skip 1, go into the second stitch, yarn over and pull through all 3, and then chain 1 again. We're going to skip this stitch and put a half double crochet into the second stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch and do your half double crochet, and then again chain 1, skip this stitch and then do a half double crochet into this stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch, do your half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and then do a half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and do a half double crochet,
Chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet, and then just do this until you get to the top of the cup.
Now I'm at the top of the cup and I have to skip this one, but it's okay if with this hole your last stitch ends here instead of having a skip one. That's completely fine, but with my counting I have the chain on this stitch, so I'm just going to do my half double crochet straight into the hole. And if your last stitch is the half double crochet into here before the hole, just go ahead and do the 2 half double crochets in here as well. The whole area does not change. So I'm just going to do my 2 half double crochets into the hole, chain 1, and then 2 more half double crochets into the hole. However, your last stitch on this side before the hole will be the same on this side. So on this side, for me, before I entered the hole, I had my chain 1. So right here, I will chain 1, so that way it counts for this stitch, and then here I will do my half double crochet. But if your stitch before the hole was the half double crochet, you're gonna do your half double crochet into here and then chain 1. So that way it is even on both sides.
So I am going to chain 1, and I'm going to skip this stitch and go into this one. So that way these 2 sides are identical. I'm going to chain 1 again, skip 1, go into the other one for the half double crochet, and just continue with that same steps until I get to the end of the row.
Before I continue to the next rows, I'm going to count the holes on each side and make sure that it's the same amount for both sides. So once we're done with this row, we're going to chain one, so yarn over, pull through, and turn your work. And into the very first hole right here, we're going to put 5 double crochets. So for double crochet, yarn over, go into the hole, grab the yarn and bring it through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the first 2 loops only. You will have 2 loops remaining, so yarn over, go through the remaining 2, and that is a double crochet. So yarn over, go into the hole, bring the yarn through, you'll have 3 loops, yarn over, go to the first 2, you'll have 2 loops again, so yarn over, go into the remaining 2 loops, yarn over, go into the hole, grab the yarn, bring it through, you'll have 3 loops, yarn over, bring the yarn through, you'll have 2 loops left, yarn over, go to the remaining 2 loops, yarn over, go into the hole, grab the yarn, you'll have 3 loops, yarn over, go to the first 2 loops only, yarn over, go through all the way. And we have 4 double crochets so far, so 1 more, yarn over, go through the hole, bring the yarn through, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through the other 2. When we're done with the 5 double crochets into this first hole here, we're going to proceed to the next hole. So go into this hole and do a single crochet. So go in, grab the yarn, pull it through, you have 2 loops, yarn over, go through both loops. And then after this single crochet, we're going to go into the next hole with another 5 double crochets.
So yarn over, go through the hole, grab the yarn, bring it through, you'll have 3 loops, yarn over, go to the first 2, yarn over the last 2, yarn over, go through, pull it through, yarn over, go to the first 2 and last 2, and just continue until you get 5 double crochets.
After you're done with the 5 double crochets into this hole, go into the next hole and do a single crochet. So go into the hole, grab the yarn, bring it through, you'll have 2 loops, yarn over, go through both loops, and then into the next hole, 5 more double crochets. After you're done with the 5 double crochets, do a single crochet into the next hole, and then just continue with the exact same steps for the rest of the row until you get to the top. So into this stitch where there's no more holes and it's before the hole from the top, just put a single crochet and then put 2 single crochets into the hole from the top. 1, 2, chain 1, and then put 2 more single crochets into the same hole. And then into here, 1 single crochet. And then depending on how yours was for this side, will depend on how you go on with this side. So for me, the last hole was a single crochet. So that means for the first hole coming down over here will be a single crochet for me too. So that way I make sure that both sides are equal. So if your last hole on this side was the 5 double crochets, go ahead and do 5 double crochets into here. I'm going to do my single crochet since that is what I finished here.
right here, do my single crochet, and then into here I'm going to do my 5 double crochets, and I'm just going to continue with the exact same pattern until I get to the end of the row.
So even though for my last hole here ended with the 5 double crochets, I'm going to still put a single crochet into this stitch here, just that way it's easier to start in the next row. Chain 2, 1, 2, turn your work, and into this single crochet right here we're going to put 1 double crochet. Then into the 3rd double crochet from the previous stitch we're going to put a single crochet. So this is the first one, second one, third one. So into the 3rd one, go into it at the top, grab the yarn, bring it through, and do your single crochet. And then into the single crochet from the previous row right here we are going to do 5 double crochets. So into the little dents in between these shells right here is the single crochet, so we're going to do 5 double crochets.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Once I'm done with the 5 double crochets, I'm going to go ahead and do my single crochet into the 3rd double crochet from the previous stitch. So 1, 2, 3, go into the 3rd one and do my single crochet. After that, I'm going to do 5 double crochets into the single crochet from the previous row. So I'm going to do my 5 double crochets into this single crochet. Then once I get into the 3rd double crochet from the previous row, I'm going to do my single crochet and then back to the 5 double crochets. So just continue doing the exact same steps of switching from the single crochet to the 5 double crochets for the rest of the row until you get to the top. Once I'm done with this side and I get to the top, I'm going to put 2 half double crochets into the hole. So yarn over, go into the hole, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through. Then 2 more half double crochets. And then continue with the same pattern from this side over here. So wherever you see a single crochet from the previous row, go ahead and put your 5 double crochets, and then with your 5 double crochets put your single crochet on top. For the single crochets right here, I'm going to skip, and then into the single crochet from this hole is where I'm going to go.
From the single crochet from this hole, I'm going to put my 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 4.
Then I'm going to put my single crochet into the 3rd double crochet from the previous stitch, and then back to the 5 double crochets, and I'm just going to continue with the same pattern of going back and forth between the 5 double crochets and the 1 single crochet until I get to the end of the row. And I'm basically at the end of the row, and since this side I had 2 double crochets right here before I started the single crochet, I'm gonna finish this row off with 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go down here and do 2 double crochets. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna grab my scissors and cut, yarn over and pull through all the way. And go ahead and do the exact same thing for your second cup. For the base, we're going to start off with a slip knot, so wrap the yarn around 2 fingers, bring the yarn through and pull to chain 2, so yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through. Then we're going to start with our foundation half double crochet stitches, so yarn over and go into the first chain you made. Grab the yarn, bring it through, you'll have 3 loops. Yarn over, go to the first loop. Yarn over, go to all 3 loops. For the second stitch, yarn over, go into the previous stitch. Make sure you go through both loops. Grab the yarn, bring it through, you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go through the first loop only. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over, go through the remaining 3 loops. Again, yarn over, go into the previous stitch. The yarn, bring it through, yarn over, bring to the first loop, yarn over, go through the remaining 3 loops. Just continue doing the exact same steps. So the measurement that you need to reach, take your waist measurement and multiply it by 0.7 at most. You can go less than 0.7. I recommend multiplying it through values in between 0.5 and 0.7, no higher or less than those. Now that it's at the length that I need it to be, I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. Then put 1 half double crochet into every single stitch until I get to the end of the row. You're at the end of the row, yarn over, pull through and turn your work. You're going to use this calculation to figure out how many rows of half double crochet you're going to do. So take the desired length that you want the base to be, so measure from underneath your breast down until how long you want it to be, and then subtract it by 1.5 inches. When you get it to the length that you need, go ahead and start on the next steps. So we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the cups. So chain 1 and turn your work. Do a half double crochet in the first stitch. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, go into the following stitch with a half double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, go into the next one with a half double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, go into the following stitch with a half double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet. And just repeat the same exact steps until you get to the end of the row. When you're done with that row, go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and then put a single crochet into this hole right here. And then put 5 double crochets into this hole. So yarn over, go into the hole, bring the yarn through. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over, go to the first 2. Yarn over, go to the remaining 2.
Yarn over, go into the hole, grab the yarn, go through the first 2 loops, then the remaining 2 loops. Just continue till you get 5 double crochets into the same hole.
Once you're done with that, go ahead and do a single crochet into the next hole. And then into the following hole, do 5 more double crochets. Then do a single crochet into the next hole, then back again with the 5 double crochets, and just continue with the same steps for the rest of the row. I'm just gonna put a single crochet into here, then I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and turn my work. I'm gonna put 1 double crochet into the single crochet, and then into the 3rd double crochet from the previous row, I'm going to put a single crochet. So 1, 2, 3 into the 3rd, single crochet, and then 5 double crochets into the single crochet right here. And then into the 3rd double crochet, do a single crochet. And just continue doing the same steps for the rest of the row. When you're done with that row, just chain 1 and turn your work. And in any place that you see a double crochet, you're going to place 2 single crochets. Any place where it's a single or half double crochet, you're going to place just 1 single crochet. So we're going to be working from this way. So since this stitch right here is a double crochet, we're going to insert 2 single crochets into this stitch. And then the following stitch right here is a single crochet, so we're going to place 1 single crochet into that stitch. And then this right here was a half double crochet, so we're going to place 1 single crochet into there. And then the rest of the rows here are half double crochets, so we're going to place 1 single crochet for each row that there is. So in each row, place 1 single crochet.
So this row now went onto this row, and this row, and then the next one, and the next one, and just keep going 1 single crochet per row until you get to the end.
When you're done, chain 1, turn your work, and then into the first stitch, put a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, into the 4th one, put a single crochet, and then another single crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 more single crochet into the next stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, go into the 4th with a single crochet, and then put 2 more single crochets into the next 2 stitches, and then chain 3, skip 3, and then do a single crochet. If you need to change the counting, that's completely fine. Just make sure that the last stitch you have is a single crochet. When you're done, just cut off the excess and yarn over and pull all the way and tighten it. Then do the same thing to the other side. Grab my yarn and connect it to this side. And bring it through. And then yarn over, bring it through the hole and tighten it. This does not count as a stitch, you're just attaching the yarn. And then place a stitch into here. So since this is a double crochet, I'm going to place 2 single crochets into it. Next stitch right here is a single crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 single crochet. This stitch right here is a half double crochet, so I'm going to put 1 single crochet and then 1 single crochet for each row of half double crochets. At the end of the row, chain 1, turn your work. Then do a single crochet into the first stitch and do the same pattern that you did on the other side. So chain 3 and then put 3 single crochets or whatever amount of single crochets you put or chains that you put. When you're done, just cut the yarn over and pull through. When you're all done with this part, we're going to go ahead and attach the cups to the base. To figure out where you're going to attach the cups, count how many stitches you have and find the middle stitch. And if it's an odd number, say you have 5, you're gonna go with the 1 straight in the middle. But if it's an even number like 4, you're gonna go with the 2 in the middle. So to attach it, to grab the yarn that's from the cup and insert my hook to where I will be attaching the cup. So bring the yarn through and then put the hook through the same stitch that you just came from. Go into the first stitch on this side, put the thread around, bring it over, and then yarn over, pull through all the way, and that's how you will be attaching it. Then I'm going to grab my yarn and attach it the same way. And then into the same stitch, we're going to do a single crochet and make sure you're going to the other side to the corresponding row. Pull through and do your single crochet. So to determine how many stitches you need to put to connect the 2 sides together, you're going to need to know the number of rows you did here. So count the rows by counting the holes in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't forget to count these rows as well. 8, 9, 10. So I have a total of 10 rows. Multiply 10 by 2 since technically these rows have 2 sides. So when you're looking at it from this direction, it is technically 20 rows. So we're gonna connect it using 20 stitches. So for each row that there is, there's going to be one single crochet connecting this side to this side. So I'm going to go into the second stitch. The footage for this part somehow got deleted, but just continue connecting the two sides together, the base and the cups, and just do the same thing for the other cup. So for these straps, you're going to use both ends of the yarn, so the end of the yarn that's on the inside and on the outside, and you're going to connect it to the very top hole, making sure that you are on the right side, the side that's going to be visible when you wear it. So go to the top, insert the hole with your hook, and grab both ends and pull through, and then yarn over, pull through, and then tighten this end. So you just want to make sure you have enough yarn for the end so that way you can tie it and weave it in at the end. And now I'm going to just continue making chains. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and just continue doing this until you have enough. I usually make my straps at least 15 to 16 inches. If you need to know how many inches you need to make yours too, I would suggest measuring from the top of your breast to the back of your neck, and then add a couple more inches, that way you can tie it and there will still be enough string left to tie it properly. When you're done, grab your scissors and cut off some yarn, and then yarn over and pull through all the way. Tighten it. And cut off the excess. Then on the back side, tie these two ends together. Weave the ends through. Then do the same thing to this cup up here. Make sure you have counted how many chains you did for this strap, and do the exact same number of chains for this strap, and just repeat the exact same steps for this one. Now for this strap, to attach these two ends together, you're gonna take your waist measurement and then the measurement of this width. So you're going to take your waist measurement and subtract it by whatever this measurement is. So for me, I'm going to take 28, subtract 18, and then 10 is what I get. So however many holes that I have here, I'm going to take that and add 1. So I have 3. So add 1, 4. I'm going to take 10 inches and multiply it by 4. So 40 inches will be how many? 40 inches will be how long I make the strap for this. So again, I'm going to take the two ends of the yarn, wrap it around my finger, and make a slip knot. So grab the hook, insert it, and pull through, and tighten it. And then I'm just going to continue making chains until I reach 40 inches. And then once you get the length you need, just cut off extra. Then yarn over, pull through all the way, tighten it, and then tie it a few times to secure it. And cut it. Then do the exact same thing to the other side of this strap. And then just lace up the bralette. And then you're all done.